Okay, so when you hear the name Bill Gates, what do you think of? Microsoft, right? Billions of dollars, philanthropy. But one of his most defining habits is something else entirely. Turns out, he's a voracious, super systematic reader, and he's got a specific method behind his master. I mean, get this. On average, Gates reads about 50 books a year. That's nearly a book a week. And we're not talking about casual beach reads here. This is a core part of how he learns, how he stays ahead. It's a level of dedication that's really shaped his success.
So how in the world does he do it? It's not about speed reading or some kind of hidden trick. It's a really deliberate four-part system, and it's all designed for maximum comprehension and engagement. So let's break down his personal playbook.
First up is a habit that sounds simple but is actually super powerful. He never ever reads without a pen in his hand. For Gates, reading isn't passive. It's an active conversation with the text.
He actually takes notes right there in the margins of his books. And his reason for it? It's crystal clear. It forces him to stop and really analyze what he's reading, especially when it's dense nonfiction. It's all about processing the information, not just consuming it. And these notes aren't random. He uses them in a very specific three-step way. First, he's always trying to connect new ideas to things he already knows. Second, he reinforces the points he agrees with. And third, this is the most important part, he actively formulates counterarguments for ideas he disagrees with.
This is pretty wild. This approach means Gates actually spends more time reading the pages he doesn't agree with. He'll literally fill the margins with notes, debating the author, challenging their assumptions. It's like a full-on intellectual workout happening right there on the page.
Okay, let's move on to his second rule, which is all about commitment. And this is a mindset that totally changes how you even choose what to read in the first place. He calls it his steal rule. The choice is basically binary. Either you commit to reading a book from cover to cover, or you don't even bother opening page 1. There's just no in-between for him. Now, this kind of commitment forces him to be incredibly selective. Before he even starts, he has to be absolutely sure a book is worth his time. It's a filter that cuts out all the noise and makes sure every book he does read gets his full, undivided attention. And he really practices what he preaches, even with books he's excited about. He once tried to read the famously complex novel Infinite Jest, but he realized its density just demanded way more focus than he could give it at that moment. So, following his own rule, he just set it aside completely. All right, rule number 3. Now, this one might seem a little ironic for one of the founders of the digital revolution. When it comes to reading, he actually prefers the old-school method. Yep, despite his tech background, Gates is a devoted fan of physical paper books. He finds them more familiar and, honestly, way more conducive to his note-taking style. He says he's open to digital in the future, but for now, he's sticking with analog. And he's totally self-aware about it. He even calls his own preference old-fashioned. So when he travels, he doesn't just pack a Kindle. He famously brings along a whole tote bag filled with a big stack of actual physical books. And that brings us to the final rule, number 4. And this might be the most crucial one of all. See, it's not enough to have the right books. You have to make the right time for them. For Bill Gates, deep reading requires a dedicated, uninterrupted block of time, at least 1 hour. Anything less than that, and you just don't get that true immersion. And here's why that's so important. Sure, 5 or 10 minutes is fine for scrolling through articles or watching a quick video. But to really grapple with the complex ideas in a book, you need that full hour to get into a state of deep focus. That's what allows the information to actually sink in. So where does a guy like Bill Gates find the time? Well, he builds it right into his routine. He typically carves out his hour-long reading block at night. This creates a really consistent habit that guarantees he's making progress on his current book, day in and day out. So there you have it, 4 simple but really powerful rules that can transform reading from just a passive pastime into a real engine for learning. Let's just put it all together one last time. So number 1, read with a pen to analyze and debate. Number 2, commit to finishing every single book you start. 3, opt for paper over pixels to keep distractions away. And 4, block out at least 1 hour for deep, focused reading. You know, this isn't just some system for a billionaire. It's a super practical playbook for anyone who wants to get more out of the books they read. So the only question left is which one of these powerful rules are you going to put into practice first?